The NFL should expand its season to 20 games. Now, before you get pushed back about it saying, oh, players, there's some player injuries and all of this and how these contracts going to work, with this 20 game increase, I say bring 2 bye weeks and you limit players to 16 games. They can only participate in 16 games. Now, obviously, we'll increase the rosters, but that means you're going to play your backups, and you're going to play your backup quarterback for 4 games out of the year. And I think that actually adds another dynamic to it, and I feel that would be best to determine seeding who is the best team, because everybody's going to be top heavy, especially the quarterback position. But hey, guess what? If you can get your backup to win games, those 4 games that the backup has to play, or if your primary guy gets hurt, you bring the backup. What about your third string guy? Just to see who has that depth to be that true top number 1 seed. And I think that's a better measure of who is the best team. We get more football. We get to see more players. We know there's a lot of talent out there because there's other leagues out there that can have players with NFL type of talent, that can develop NFL type talent, or sometimes they had a situation where they couldn't be in the NFL at that particular time. I think it would be good. And especially it would be good, especially if the NFL expands. Say they add 2 teams to each conference to make it 18 teams. And you can figure out a 20 game situation for that. Now I know we played 17 games, or I'm just saying we, I'm an NFL fan. I probably shouldn't say we, but NFL plays 17 games. Now I don't know how that 17th game works, but I always knew how it worked in terms of 16 games, and how that scheduling worked. That scheduling worked where you play everyone in your division twice, play another division in your conference, and also in your conference, the divisions, the other 2 divisions that you didn't play, you play the corresponding seed as to which you finished last season in terms of the rank of the division. Say you finished 3rd place in your division. Well, guess what? The other divisions in the conference in which you don't play all the teams, you play that 3rd seed, and then you play a division of the opposite conference. And to get to 20 games, guess what? Just play another division, that opposite conference, and that'll get you 20 games. That's simple. And if you expand to 18 teams each conference, well, guess what? This is what you do. You have 3 divisions of 6 teams. And with that, you're still going to play everybody in your division 2 times. Therefore, you get to 10 games. And for the other teams in your conference, in those other 2 divisions, so you have 3 divisions now with 18. 3 divisions, and you got 18 teams. 3 divisions of 6 teams. Your division plays 2 teams in each of the other division, and you rotate that every 3 years. So 2, 4, you rotate it every 3 years. So your division plays 2 teams in this division, 2 teams in another division in your same conference, and then you get on a rotation of 3 years. And I think you actually get to play more teams, especially if you're going up to 20. You get to play more teams more often, so you don't have that big gap. And then in the opposite conference, you play 2 teams rotating every 3 years in each of those divisions. So that's 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 games outside of the 10 games you play in your own division, and that's 20 games. So it could even work with expansion, adding 2 teams to each conference. 4-team NFL expansion. And I think that could probably happen, and I think we'll reach max capacity at that point. And 20 games, I think that's a good figure, and we can limit players to 16 games, but we also get to see the backups. for 4 games, and it regardless of position. Even kickers too. See, we don't really get to see the backup kickers and punters. If your backup kicker and punter ain't up to par, guess what? You're exposed. You don't deserve a higher seed because you're just being top heavy. You want to see what can your backups do. Now maybe it could be a way where you say, hey, you have to play 32 quarters at max, and maybe you could have players not play the second half or not play the first half. I don't know, but I think with that preparation that goes into it, I'm not sure if that's something that you really want to do. But I mean, maybe the NFL could figure out that that's their job, and like, hey, you be the first half quarterback, you'll be the second half quarterback, and do that all season, and that's only 10 games of wear and tear on your big time starting quarterback before playoffs. So I don't know if you want to do it, you know, how they want it, if they want to do it like that. But I think it can work. Just limit players to 16 games. But I'm just not sure if should be 16 games limit or a 32 halves limit. But as it stands, I prefer the 16 game limits where you can actually plan, say, hey, this quarterback is going to take off that game, and you just, go with the backup guy and the full time starter. Guess what? He gets a break at that time, and maybe you can even work it out where, hey, they get to not come into work for a few days, and they can, do whatever. So, have some, personal time, or if they need to do something or got, family thing to take care of or something like that. But I would definitely like to see a 20 game season, and then that's where we can see more backups as well to see, hey, guess what? This is a really good team. Even though we do see backups in a lot of positions, but we don't see the backups as it comes to quarterbacks and kickers. And I think I could add an extra dynamic and an extra element to this chess game of football. That's how I feel about it. If you feel the same, let me know. Or you think I'm just way off with this, let me know. But I think I'm on point with this. And I think going to 20 games works now, and it works for adding 4 teams to the NFL. And it gives you a different dynamic and a different chess piece to deal with. And the players, if you limit it to 16 games, a player will be playing less than the 17 they got to play now. And you just base contract around 16 games and go from there. So, yeah, that's what I'm thinking. 20 games, but limit guys to 16 games. Iceberg Jim out. Deuces.